you want to do a test again?
That is the greatest start to a video ever. Hey guys, how's it going? Seb is here with Ian Blood of Azerheim. How you doing, mate?
Not bad, yourself?
Doing alright, hoping, praying to the Omnissiah that the machine spirits will be with us, because it has been a while since we've done one of these. Well, it's been a while since we got one of these posted. We did one of these last week. We did this last week. But it was me having a one-sided conversation with myself.
Not at all. I tended to ramble on more than I fucking should.
But there was no audio because I can't work computers.
There was no audio at all with me. So actually, yeah, you would have just been watching a one-sided conversation and thinking Seb was completely batshit.
Just randomly laughing at myself, which is something I kind of do, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we today are talking about squiggly beasts,
Indeed.
Squigs, like mainly in the 40k sense. With space orcs, or orcs as they are now. We're going to try and do this in two parts, because we went for quite a while last time, and we're going to give us some freedom to ramble and talk about our favourites.
I believe it was over an hour last time, so you poor bastards, you missed out on that shit.
Indeed. So without further ado, a little bit about Squigs. They are squiggly beasts, which is a new thing to me.
It's the full name, Squiggly Beasts.
Which is just, I think we could just end the show. Yeah, done. That's enough entertainment.
Yeah, that's fine. Squiggly Beasts, there you go. Just let that sink into your mind.
So they are the simplest form of orcoid life. And there are many types, and they're the main orc staple. And they're found around their camps. Generally, sort of, they thrive and grow and serve almost a plethora, myriad of wonderful...
myriad of different uses.
Yeah, wacky different uses.
Some more ridiculous than the rest, but it's all good because it's orc stuff.
Yeah.
It has to be ridiculous.
It's more ridiculous. Well, actually, their actual usefulness and their ridiculousness seems to be offset quite well.
Yeah.
So they can all be eaten, but especially the juicy squig is a very particular favourite, although that needs a special Gretchen cook. And snotlings and Gretchens basically herd and keep various others, and we'll kind of talk about those when we get to them. But yeah, just crazy. So let's just Squigs. Orcs arrive on a planet.
Dive straight into the Squigs.
Orcs arrive on the planet. Boom. They do their thing. There's spores, there's all the life, the kind of organic matter that surrounds them and falls off them and is part of them and is them.
Yeah. They're effectively just a giant fungal life form, so they drop spores all the time. That spore effectively creates an entire orc ecosystem on a planet when they land.
Which is awesome.
Which is the biggest problem with them, other than the fact they're orcs.
So you've got a toolkit, you've got medical supplies, and you've got food instantly available.
Yep.
Oh, and entertainment.
Yes. We'll get to that in a minute. It's not what you think. Shut up.
But they are. I made this awful pun before, but they are Orcia basically. They come flat packed and ready to go.
The orcs effectively have a flat pack ecology system, which is we now know as Orcia.
Yeah, and anything you can think of. We're going to cover a few of the bits and bobs, but basically you can even go away and make up some of your own if you want to submit.
Yeah,
those
I'd really like those. I'd really like to see if people can just make up their own squigs, draw some pictures, and send it in.
That'd be awesome.
No phallic ones, please. That would get weird.
Maybe you can keep them in your own personal sketchbooks.
Yes. I know about that side of Tumblr Warhammer. I'm watching you.
Right, so before we kind of get too down and dirty with the orcs and their uses, let's remember that these are related. They may be being eaten or used for whatever, but they are essentially third cousins.
Part of the orcoid. They are part. Remember that when you're designing your squigs. They are part of the orcoid species, which is your fungus, your squigs, your squiggoths, your orcs itself, everything.
Yeah, which is just awesome.
Yeah.
So let's dive into a few, and as we sort of say, we like to get into the fun, weird things of fluff, and it may be retconned, it may not be in the current edition, but
however, I don't think there's any solid word if it's been retconned or not, so we're going to have fun with this.
Yeah, we just delve into things that we find fun, and if you find things that are fun you want us to talk about, please do let us know, because that'd be fun.
Because we can rant for hours.
Oh yes, we can. So here we have our first pictures of some squigs. So the top right we have the attack squig, your standard squig.
Your bog standard squig, the one you'll see on the battlefield, on the models, everything. Just a big set of teeth with legs.
a lolloping tongue, and
Yep.
the tiny sort of vestigial arms that don't seem to really have any.
Yeah, it's got like kind of T-Rex arms to the point of ridiculous.
But these are kind of they're like attack dogs. These are your
They are,
German shepherds,
They are the German Shepherds or the Bull Mastiffs of the Orc world.
and they kind of go from rather small, gnashing pups to rather large, kind of
Yes, I
terrifying
mean,
figures.
when I was thinking about it the other day, I was on the Forge World website, and in the Warhammer Forge section, they do have a giant attack squig, and it's about, I think it's taller than a man.
Wow.
So they can get pretty big, and it's still only like 2 legs and a big ball-shaped body with a set of teeth on it.
That's a terrifying prospect.
Yes.
And it's also the attack squigs that because we will talk about exploding squigs a bit later, but it's also the attack squigs that you see sort of for instance in Space Marine the game. It's
Yes.
attack squigs that they might strap explosive to
Yeah,
to turn into exploding squigs.
Very distinct difference from exploding squigs and attack squigs in that game, as in there is no exploding squigs, there's only attack ones with bombs strapped to them.
Yeah. So yeah, we're already starting being fun and having the idea of this chewing on the knee of a Space Marine to protect his war boss.
Okay, just like get off. I do have a question though. See, with a tongue that size, would they not bite it off constantly?
That is definitely going to be a difficulty that we'll suffer with. I suppose with as they are related to orcs, things will grow back.
This is true.
And also, it could be a delicacy. A little.
It wouldn't surprise me either.
So moving to the next to the top right there. Well, also there are 2 sort of different forms, and below it we have the buzzer and buzzing squigs.
Yes.
So first of all, we have kind of a gnashing teeth sort of bee type fly.
I believe I described it in the last failed video as a bear trap with wings.
Yeah. Flying bear trap with kind of rather dainty.
Dainty wings, yes,
Yeah.
and kind of a wee frail body, but then teeth that it shouldn't be able to support. Actually, in that picture, you can see its eyes is kind of lolling into the back of its head behind it because the teeth are that big that it covers its vision.
Because they don't really need to see.
No, actually, for the uses that they are used for, they do not need to see, no.
And below, there's the much more sort of spiny, bony eyes on stalks, it seems.
Yes.
And the harpoon of death kind
Yes,
of
the barbed sting that would not come out no matter how much you tried.
No.
That thing's designed to sit in the skin.
Definitely. And so both of these are basically forms of ammunition.
They are artillery ammunition, effectively.
For a squigopult.
Yes, the Squig catapult. Effectively, the runt herds will send in grots into what they call the pits, which is just basically the area of ground where squigs spawn. Grots will catch these in big clay jars with holes punched in them for so they can still breathe. Fill as many in a jar as they can, close it up with a cork, and leave them for a while so they're absolutely ridiculously angry and very hungry.
Fuming.
Yes, fuming with rage.
Wild. And so basically that gets launched in a clay pot full of, or some kind of pot of these. It's launched upon you as if you've just kind of headbutted a wasp's nest. But it's got bigger teeth and bigger stings. Glorious. Probably, maybe we need something a little bit less scary and a little bit more user friendly after that. So in the bottom left here we have is a feeding squig.
Yes, the eating squig.
The eating squig. This is the one. Poor sad chap that he looks. Kind of like a deflated Krang, just with his sad puppy dog eyes, just saying, "Please eat me."
Along with another one, these are the closest to the blobfish I've ever seen in 40k. They look so depressed and unhappy with their life. And that one, especially with the eating squig, is basically just a giant loaf of bread.
Oh, a slightly meaty, fungal, flabby loaf of bread.
Yes. Also mentioned in the way the orcs eat them, they usually prefer them cooked, but they can be eaten raw. Gretchen usually will try to kebab them, marinate them with fungus wine, stuff them with fungus and herbs, roast them in a spit, or my personal favourite, deep fry them with fungus chips. Squig and chips.
Isn't that a Jamie Oliver recipe?
Probably.
It does sound...
it'd be a Heston Blumenthal one. He'd actually make a squig from his freaky little science.
Oh, Heston Blumenthal throws a feast for the Emperor. Oh, that'd be an interesting show. I'd watch that. But also, the other thing I think I said last time, they kind of remind me of, I can't remember if it's the cow or some kind of bovine from the restaurant at the end of the universe, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That basically, like, just please eat me. I was created to be eaten. Just sort of put me out of my misery, because I would quite like you to eat me. But it's always looking up at an orc. You know what?
Yeah,
I can imagine an orc
just
stood
get it
there.
over with. For the love of Gork and Mork, get us over with.
Poor little blighters. So we'll move on to the next page. Oh, we have a personal favourite, the Gnasher, the face-eating squig.
Yes.
A beauty. Would you like to talk about the natural habitat and the way these find a function in orc society?
How would I put this? We kind of thought that perhaps these in their natural habitat with their kind of weird tails would latch onto rocks high above and then just drop down on someone's head, which is a horrifying concept. But the main use for these guys with orcs is for spectator sport and gambling.
Because what else makes a squig or a dinner better than a bit of sport and gambling?
Yes. Effectively, an orc will hold this thing above his head and attempt to eat it before it eats the orc. Him or her, it, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And as you might notice from certain images, the face-eating squig has a jaw that unhinges and kind of opens much further than an orc's does, as in it could probably swallow its entire head.
Yes, because its actual kind of jaw is longer than its entire body, pretty much, and filled with those horrifically needle-like teeth. And it's kind of got those kind of slightly vampiric, knowing eyebrows. It's kind of happy with its life and its use. This is a national squig I wouldn't bet against.
Ever thought of saying a squig had vampiric knowing eyebrows?
But you can sort of see what I mean.
Yeah, totally. Also, just thinking about this, and that when you see the shape of these things, what does the orc try and eat first? Because if he tries to bite a jaw, all he's going to get is his mouth lacerated by the teeth.
Yeah. Because that's where you got to go, unless you're going to sort of suck under the chin. Maybe you duck round it. That's the way. Maybe I also think maybe just grab the bottom of the chin and go for it backwards. But then I'm unorthodox.
Maybe it's like a sort of like crawfish thing where you like snap them and then just suck the head and just take all the meat out of it.
Yeah. Although I do like the idea of the whole competition is you've got to eat it before it takes a bite out of you.
Yeah,
and just orcs just swarming around with just like rattling their teeth, putting teeth bets on, just a glorious image.
I can't imagine how fixed orc betting is as well.
So
that's not going to be fair in any way. One, because they have barely any brain cells, and two, because someone will try and get more teeth than the other one does.
See, now I've just got this image of like a big war boss with the tiny little shrimp of a face eater and a snotling holding like one the size of an attack squig. They can barely lift. Oh dear. But they are glorious little things.
They are.
So next we have which one was we? Oh, we have. It's the. Is it gnashing? No, we had the gnashing.
Yes, we have the gnashing.
The gnashing is the growler. Oh no, the growler's the one below, and the ratty one. Oh, flesh eater. There we are.
Yes, the flesh eater.
Top right is the flesh eater, which is basically kind of big rat with big teeth.
It's a rat with a crocodile's jawline.
Definitely got a bit of Henson going on.
Yeah, I think we said that last time. You wouldn't be amiss seeing that in Labyrinth.
No.
Or something like that.
But it's just a really hairy rat with that sort of crocodilious mouth.
I could see that. I could see that in Farscape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, these ones are actually pretty interesting to me because it's that whole orc economy thing.
Yeah.
They're ridiculously hard to tame, but they are a source of like just ridiculous amounts of wealth for the owner because they drop teeth like orcs do and regrow them much like orcs do. They're effectively a piggy bank, a squiggy bank.
Squiggy bank, oh, glorious.
If someone wants to make me a squiggy bank, I will be a very happy man, by the way, if anyone's got that sort of skill.
We'll all put orders in. That sounds awesome. But yeah, because those teeth are like, you see there's the needle teeth on the Gnasher, but they're quite thin. But they're proper kind of.
No, those are
teeth.
like actually crocodilian teeth it's got. They're just big, sharp, long teeth that protrude out of the jaw and out of the mouth, in fact.
Which is just awesome.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for? Well, you could also ask for the gnashing, because now I've got my notes in order. I know what I'm talking about again. So the gnashing. So if the flesh eater is a bit more of a kind of Jim Henson Labyrinth type creature, we have a where the wild things are gnasher with these big, sort of smiley but kind of big teeth, but. It's kind of a sweet, it's marsupially kind of monkey.
It's marsupially canine sort of thing. I think I described these last time as orc pugs. That's kind of how they look to me.
Indeed. Oh, or they could be like the chihuahuas. They could be the handbag pets of the orc world.
Somebody please draw an orc with a handbag. Please. With just a growler's head sticking out of it. Please.
Oh, so is there anything other particularly used for these ones, or these are more just again like a pet?
They are a pet. They really snap at the ankles of other orcs, and they scurry behind their masters in fear, which gives the orcs amusement. They are effectively like a puppy. Yeah. They're just a massive mark of status. However, there is another breed of growler squig called a mimic. This is my favorite.
Oh yes, this is what I was waiting for. This is awesome.
It's effectively the same thing, but in parrot form. This is used by the freebooters, the pirate-style orcs. Effectively does the same job, other than the fact that it tends to remember curse words and slurs. So an older orc pirate captain would be sitting there with these, I'm going to say corncob pipe, because I don't think orcs have a proper pipe. And they don't have a squig pipe, for whatever reason. I would have expected that. Anyway. And it'll sit there on his shoulder, just people pass by, he goes, "You fucking bastard!" and shit like that. So.
Gives you teeth.
Gives your teeth, you wank.
Oh, it's beautiful. So it's a slightly more parody form of this wild thing.
Yes. Again, something that I want to see Jim Henson's Creature Studio, or whatever it's called, come up with, because these squig designs, some of them, you could just see it being made.
Oh, definitely. And
especially the growler, I can see that right away.
Oh, totally. And it could be a fun child's pet. So you find the child.
It might eat your children's toes, but excellent pet.
Oh, definitely. What might be a better pet? The next one we have here, this poor unfortunate chap, is a gobsquig.
This is the other one that, as I said, looks like a blobfish. This must have one of the most depressing jobs in orc society, other than the toilet paper squig, but I haven't found that one out yet.
Oh man, there's some kind of suction, maybe. I don't know. Let's not go there.
Do you want to take this one, Seb?
So the gob, I think we're putting it in the mouth and cleaning and chewing on it. So it's sort of a bit like the grubby things from Farscape that you must not swallow.
Like, just clean out your mouth and like your teeth, make sure your gums are alright, clean all the crap out.
Mixed in with the kind of bit of sort of chewing tobacco we kind of discussed last time. Maybe
yeah,
we can get flavoured ones.
There is another breed called the chewing squig, which is just pretty much the same thing, apart from the fact it's effectively the chewing tobacco version, where an orc will just sit there chewing on it for hours.
And just the look on its face.
Oh, that's another one that is just depressed out. I don't blame it.
No. And it's just like a very sad fish that's just sort of stuck its tongue out and just don't chew me anymore.
Please.
I don't want to go back in there. There's just like chunks of ceramite and chitin and all sorts of stuff and horrible things living inside it. That's got to be the horrible thing. For the gobsquig is probably not the only thing living in an orc's mouth.
Small pterodactyl species and
oh, some of Matt Ward's wilder creations that to the light of day living inside an orc body.
Maybe that's where the squats went. Somewhere in an orc's mouth.
Oh, the squat's just being digested slowly by a multitude of orcs.
Are we saying that an orc's stomach is something like a sarlacc pit then? Over tens of thousands of years, they are digested?
Well, there's no reason there couldn't be a Sarlacc squig.
Oh,
If you've had a settlement for a long enough time.
what have we done?
Oh dear, who would be Boba Fett? Maybe Loken. Maybe Loken ends up.
Yeah, Loken is the one that could survive a sarlacc squig.
Gabriel Loken
It's
to be
either
found.
going to be him, Gabriel Seth of the Flesh Traders, because he can do anything and he doesn't.
Just fuming inside.
Gabriel Seth is like the honey badger of the Space Marine world. He does not give a flying fuck.
I do believe that is his Legio Custodes code name when he's
Honey,
visiting.
codename Honey Badger.
Yeah, the honey badger is visiting the palace this week. Oh dear, but I love the image of a squig Sarlacc pit.
Someone
Just
draw
with
that,
the,
please.
with the big
Because you know what
googly
would have?
eyes.
It would have like a completely open mouth or something all the time, and then a set of really dumb eyes up at the far end that are just kind of lolling about. Awesome.
I almost imagine giant teeth as well, interlocking, almost like a portal that comes open. Oh, but we are kind of getting lost in these.
Yes.
We may have a bit more of a ramble at the end, but we're on to our last
This,
one
this
for this
is
part.
the beautiful thing about Squigs, though. You can make anything up and it could be a squig.
Definitely. And we'd definitely like to see some of your squigs. But
Yes.
on to possibly my favourite, one of my favourites. I think I keep saying this, so many of them are my favourite. But
No, this one is your favourite
Definitely
because
is
it
my favourite.
blew your mind when I told you about it.
this is the reason we are doing this, so here we
This
go.
is like pulling the curtain back in the magic show and suddenly knowing how it works.
So we have, obviously in the top left there, we have an orc, as we all know them, with their lovely little top knots. But to the right of that, we have...
Indeed I am, to shatter the illusion.
Oh, and in which Ian is the masked magician. Please tell us what this hairy eel-like thing with teeth is.
It's a fucking squig. Their hair is squigs. Enter Soylent Green reference.
Oh, and eating squigs is definitely a Soylent greeting.
Yes!
Soylent squigs are orcs. Oh,
Oh, right. This is by far the best thing about orcs.
Yep.
These little guys are literally just, a big tuft of hair. I'm guessing a wee ball body with a set of pincer-like, teeth on it. Parrot beak, I would say, probably.
it just
Orcs,
makes it more glorious.
for whatever reason, came along and went, I'm going to stick this to my face and my head to make hair.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. Any orc you see with hair, it is a squig.
And we are talking those pinchers going into the skin
Yes.
and latching on
Yes.
to form hair.
Yes. The orc gets a sweet, hairdo. The squig gets a permanent meal from the skin of the orc that is always regrown anyway, so it's a pretty happy symbiotic relationship.
Happy days.
Yes. Before I move on to Seb's favourite of the hair squigs, I'd also like to mention that orc mad docs will use hair squigs as sutures and just cut all the hair off so it's just the body and it'll just, close up a wound.
And we can see that in the bottom left here. So they're kind of being stuck on. I mean, they've still got
Yep.
the hairy body coming down.
Yep.
But you're saying we're snipping those off.
Yes.
And it's essentially kind of similar to is it the army ants in the
Yeah.
rainforest using the biting and then just burning the bodies off.
Yep.
That's glorious. That's useful. That's just patching up wounds with hair.
Yep.
Living
Effectively, squigs can they feed off the blood in the wound, so they'll live for quite a while. Then, after a while, the squig will die and drop off, and by that point, the wound is healed, and the orc has a nice set of scars,
Lovely.
which are a mark of status in orc society.
Sorry, I think you froze a moment there. You went.
Ah.
You are still here. It's fine. We're still rolling. The machine spirits are working. I think.
Yeah. Where was I?
Sealing up the wounds.
Yeah. They stitch up the wound. Squigs feed off the blood, and eventually they'll die and drop off. And at that point, the wound is healed, and the orcs have a set of scars that are a massive status symbol.
Awesome scenes.
There you
I'm
go.
just looking at that picture. That tooth that is sticking out of that orc's head. I don't have a feeling that that will be in that mouth when that mad dog is finished, because it's going to be far too tempting, surely.
Mine.
Exactly.
Also,
So
I love the
you got to
fact
pay
that,
the dog.
the Mad Doc has that sort of thing that the surgeons wear, the hat that keeps all their hair in place, but he's got it over one ear as well, and it's slightly folded over.
Yeah, and a monocle. It seems.
And a monocle.
This is a dapper Mad Dog, of course. Pain boy, but yeah.
Somebody make the Dapper Boys, please.
Oh yes, yes, orcs in suits and top hats off to the side and canes.
You have to have Tommy guns.
Yes. Oh, yes, Tommy guns. We just rusted barrels and oh, that sounds glorious. But in the bottom right here, we have just so we talked about the hair, and that goes. You can put one or more on for hairy hair on top of your
Yeah,
head.
yeah. If orcs have an entire mop of hair, it tends to be hundreds of hair squigs just all over the place.
But this beautiful, slightly blurry image is a beard squig.
It is a chin squig.
Chin squig, sorry.
It's alright.
Chin squig.
This glorious idea is a squig that has a centipede-like body. The orcs will simply attach in one end and make it dig its claws or legs in the entire way around to make a Abe Lincoln-like beard.
It looks beautiful. It's a full, a decent kind of rapscallion-like beard.
I'm jealous.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, again, it could come in a variety of colours, which would be interesting. But kind of, so we're literally strapping this on. It's literally a chin strap.
Yep.
Fake beard that becomes real, where it kind of eats into the chin.
Yes, I would guess that you can also get other ones of other varieties that are probably of the same species that they could then use as a mustache. I want to see an orc with a handlebar mustache now. Someone get on that.
Yeah, Van Dyke, big mutton chops.
I want an orc with a Fu Manchu as well. Can someone do that?
Oh, beautiful. But one of the best things about this is I just love the idea of seeing that in the wild. Just seeing that crawling about like a little Mohican on legs.
I can't work out if it crawls, kind of bounces along, or just rolls. There is no body to it other than like a length of hair and a beak.
Oh yeah, because they're not even legs. I keep thinking they're legs. They're teeth. That's where they bite on.
Yeah, that's it, unless they walk on those.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wouldn't put it past them.
no.
And were you saying it's sort of like a orc gets to a certain number of years and they get to a certain time in its life, and they sort of basically have to go and find one of these, and it becomes a mark of sort of status.
It is a bit of a mark of status to have one because it means you've actually spent the time to go looking for one of these things. However, the beard squig is and having that strapped on and eating your flesh for whatever godforsaken reason is a sign of like maturity and age.
So we're saying you have a very young orc just sort of finding one of these, or
and
just falling into a patch of them, just rows of beards.
Yes.
Suddenly they're the leader of the
There could
tribe.
be a field of beards somewhere.
Oh, a field of... That sounds like the Promised Land. A field of beards.
A field of Robert Baratheon-esque beards. As far as the eye can see.
And unfortunately, a Pagonophobia convention has been booked there. Basically, I think the chin squig is the personification of Pagonophobia, the fear of beards. It's
because I mean, this isn't just a beard; it's a beard with teeth that can attach itself to your face and feed off your flesh. That would anyone with a serious fear of beards, that's your worst nightmare.
Exactly. Is there I think that kind of brings us to like the first half of the kind of squigs we're going to cover. Is there anything you kind of want to say about what we've had already? Anyone sticking out as your favourite? Or if you come up with any
favourite out of the... No, I haven't. Other than the pipe squig, I'd really like to see a smoking pipe.
Yeah.
My personal favourite has to either be the gob or the flesh eater, because the designs are just so hilarious.
Yeah. The gob, bottom left, and the flesh eater top right.
Yep.
But just with this, also with the size and the kind of the imagined size and look of the flesh eater, I imagine having a really high pitched, like mouse like squeak as well. Kind of like really incongruous, weird noise. I've come up with an idea for some. They could be kind of. We'll talk about swirl squigs in the next part, but I was thinking you can have earbuds.
Yes.
Squig buds, essentially.
Squig buds.
Which is,
well, that would make sense because there's another thing I want to look into the Orcs at some point is the old golf rocker units, which had guitars.
Yes. So tuning squigs.
Tuning squigs would also be a thing.
Definitely. So
You
yeah,
have entire bands made up of squig instruments.
that would be awesome. Just a big, fat, blown up for the bass drum, just boom. but then
We then have an Orc Lemmy
wow.
with a squig bass.
Can we have an orc slash as well?
Yes.
Just in the big hat. Oh,
The hat is also a squig.
hat is also a squig, of course. Of course. The sorting hat from Harry Potter is also a squig.
Yes.
But it somehow merged from one reality to another.
Universe to another, and learned how to speak.
Exactly. Well, yeah. We imagine that some of the mimic does speak, so some of those may speak, or can pick up the odd bit of low gothic. But that kind of brings us to the end of this first part of the Wolf and the Raven Squigomania.
Squigomania. Squig apocalypse.
Yeah, this is the taming of the squig.
Dances with squigs.
Oh my word! All the puns. So yes,
Anyone else, if you figure out any more, just send them in, please.
please do. This is our first sort of walk around Orkia, and we're off to try some squig meatballs.
Some squiggish meatballs.
Oh, indeed. So I'm Darthavius, and with me, as always, is Blood of Azahai, Mr. Ian. And this is for Alice Index, a place for all things geeky gaming, AliceIndex.com. We're based on Tumblr, but we're also on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff.
You can find us everywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere. We're in the system. All things geek gaming, video games, card games, board games, random fluffy stuff like this, book reviews, art. We've just very excitedly had Deathhead 13 has been joined us and posted up a cracking little comic of about himself and him joining as an epic government working Red Corsair, which is beautiful, and I recommend you check that out on AliceIndex.com. And we will be doing another of these very soon. So we will catch you guys later. Ta-da bye.